So again, these advertiser fix finders are tools anyone can use regardless of your marketing channel. Just 7 simple steps, we're going to get your ads and funnels predictable and profitable again, just like we did for the client that we're about ready to show you here in the e-commerce case study. I'm going to go ahead and open up the advertiser fix finder tool right now for the e-commerce case study. All right, let's take a look at the e-commerce example. So here's what we're going to do is we pull up the e-commerce fix finder, and basically essentially what's going to happen is this. We want to collect these specific KPI numbers over the last 7 days. So what have you been doing over the last 7 days for your conversion-based ads? So how much was it spent? What's the cost per CPM that we're looking for? Click-through link rate, not who just clicked on the ad, but who actually clicked on the link to the landing page. And how many link clicks did you actually get? How many people clicked on that link to head over to that website? Landing page visits. So how many people actually ended up hitting your site? Sometimes you can tell this like from a Facebook report directly, or sometimes you're going to have to take a look at Google Analytics to see how many people clicked on your ad, and then how many people actually in Google Analytics, actually how many people landed on your page. Now with e-commerce, once people land on the page or sales page or whatever it is, the next step is to add to cart. And like in Shopify, what a lot of people have is people are going to add to cart. They're going to say, hey, I want this product. They're going to go ahead and start to enter in their credit card information, that is initiate checkout. And then we're looking at how many initiate checkouts you had, how many purchases you had, and overall, what's your average purchase conversion value. So what we want to take a look at is let's go ahead and pull the numbers right here for the last 7 days. So when we take a look at this client's example, they basically spent $2,500. The CPM was $16.25. The link click-through rate was 2.25%. That means they generated 3,516 link clicks. And from the people who clicked on the ad and actually hit the landing page, that's 2,637 people. 474 people added to cart. And then from the add to cart, put in their credit card information, was 142 people. Purchases, they had 56 purchases. Again, the average order value is $29.35. Now, what's basically going to happen here is some people only have an add to cart to purchase. Well, we would just make this number the exact same, but this is a typical kind of Shopify setup. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this window to the right just a little bit, because one of the numbers we're going to be focusing on here in just a little bit is, regardless of the funnel, what is the overall purchase conversion rate? So when somebody hits the landing page and to people who end up buying, no matter what's in between, a webinar, e-commerce, doesn't matter, but we're going to be focusing on this number right here. All right, so if you were using this Advertiser Fix Finder, all you would do is have to enter the numbers right here in yellow. Now, again, as I mentioned before, people will say, well, the ads worked really well for me 6 months ago or a year ago. Okay, well, let's try to find another 7-day period where they worked really well, where you typically spend about the same amount of money. So we do in this example here, I'm going to scroll on down, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at a previous 7-day window. Again, I like to call it the glory days. What happens? We spent $2,500. The CPM was $11.25, 2.75% click-through rate, generated a little over 6,100 link clicks, 4,583 landing page visits, then 1,100 people and 45 people added to cart, 343 people entered their credit card information, and 137 people bought. What we can see here is there's a little bit higher average purchase conversion value that happened back in the glory days. We're going to look into that. And we see this number right here is higher, that they were actually closing more sales at almost 3% conversion rate. That's a really good conversion rate. And I'm going to show you where we got those numbers here in a second, but we can just see just roughly that they're not closing as much as what they used to. Well, what I want to do is I want to now take a look and I want to compare. What we're basically going to do is compare these glory days right here to what's going on right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. I like to take a look at the rate of change. We start to see that the CPM, it's actually gone up 44%. Now, there are certain ways that we can control a CPM cost, and I'm going to show you some of those access points here in a minute, but I mean, 44% increase just to place our ad is huge. What also looks like we used to have a 2.75% click-through rate, looks like it decreased over 18% to 2.25. So our cost has gone up. Less people are actually clicking on the ad. Well, what does that mean for link clicks? Oh my goodness. The same amount of money spent, 42% less clicks to our website. Oh, 42% less clicks of actually hitting the website. There's 58% less people going to the add to cart for the same amount of spend. So we're really seeing a big drop off here, a 58% difference of initiate checkout. Sales are down almost 60%. But but wait a minute, the glory days they were converting at 3%. Something's going on and people are spending less when they're checking out. Okay. So we've compared and we've seen that there's some pretty drastic price changes here and some pretty drastic traffic drop-offs. So the next thing that we want to take a look at is let's take a look at industry averages. What we're going to do is, again, we're just going to be taking a look at these 7-day numbers right here. And we're going to drop down to the next part of the calculator. Now, in this section of the calculator, essentially what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at all of these numbers down here below. Essentially, these are what we call KPI levers. This is going to give us some industry averages and know what to do next. So a really great number down here compared to industry average, this KPI is going to turn green. So the CPM cost, that looks really good. Well, what does really good actually mean? Well, what happens right here on the Fix Finder, we can go ahead and just click on the report card, and we can see what would be an A, B, C, D, or F grade if we really want to know the specifics. So it looks like the click-through rate of 2.25% currently, well, that's pretty good too. That's a pretty great KPI. Well, the next KPI we have to take a look at is how many people actually clicked on the ad and hit the landing page. Well, we see here about 75% of people who clicked on the ad actually hit the landing page. So this is an average KPI, but I want you to look at the other way. 25% of the people who click your ad never make it to your website. We're going to give you some ideas on how to fix that here in just a couple of minutes, but this isn't the biggest problem that the client has. The next thing we got to take a look at is the add to cart. So people who hit the landing page, let's say on a Shopify site, how many people hit the landing page and then actually added to cart? So it looks like 17.97%. So again, this is an average KPI. Initiate checkout. So how many people went to add to cart to initiate checkout? It looks about 30% of people took that next step. And that's pretty close to a great KPI, but you can see the average here. Again, anytime you want to double check exactly what the numbers are, you can click on the report card here. What it looks like, the purchase versus initiate checkout, that's actually doing really good. So we have